Assalamu alaikum, my dear biology students. Today we are going to study about the mechanism of photosynthesis. At the end of the lesson, you will be able to learn about the light reactions of photosynthesis, the steps in the dark reactions of photosynthesis, and we will do a comparison of the light and dark reactions. Photosynthesis. Photo means light and synthesis means to form. So, in the process of photosynthesis, the green plants they form glucose. It is a process which involves synthesis of glucose from carbon dioxide and water. You all know about the reaction of photosynthesis in which carbon dioxide and water join in the presence of light and chlorophyll and they form glucose, oxygen and water. The mechanism involves two phases which are light dependent reactions, also called light reactions, and light independent reactions which are called dark reactions. Along with this, when we will study the light and dark reactions, we will use the term oxidation reduction. So let's study these also. You also have studied it in the previous lesson. Let's recall. Oxidation reduction reactions. These are basically a source of energy. They provide energy to the cells. Now, what is oxidation? Oxidation means addition of oxygen, removal of hydrogen. They both are opposite to each other. And in oxidation, loss of electrons take place. You must remember LEO, L-E-O, LEO means loss of electrons in oxidation. Reduction means addition of hydrogen, removal of oxygen and gain of electrons. For reduction, you must remember GER, G-E-R, GER, gain of electrons in reduction. Right? In this way, you will be able to learn it. So these are the differences between oxidation and reduction reactions, and they both are a source of energy. Light reactions. The light reactions take place on thylakoid membranes of the chloroplasts. They make ATP and NADPH, and these both are high energy molecules. Now let's study the steps of the light reactions. They only occur in the presence of light. You must remember it. That's why their name is light reactions. These light reactions were explained by Cornelis van Niel. Now the steps involved in it are chlorophyll absorbs light and emits the electrons. These electrons which are emitted, they enter the electron transport chain to produce ATP. So ATP is produced. Now, the other thing which happens is that this light also breaks water and oxygen is released. Oxygen, it is released. Hydrogen which is left, so hydrogen atoms of water give electrons to chlorophyll and hydrogen becomes H plus means proton, it becomes ions. These electrons of chlorophyll and the H plus proton of water are used for the reduction of NADP plus into NADPH. So we get two things in this light reaction, ATP and NADPH. These both are high energy molecules. We can understand it through this diagram. First look at the sunlight on the left hand side. So light energy is coming on chlorophyll. The chlorophyll, it absorbs light as we have studied in the first step that chlorophyll absorbs light and electrons are emitted from it. These electrons go up. Look at the red arrow which is pointing upward. So these electrons are excited and go to the electron transport chain which is shown here in the form of stairs. This is a long chain, right? And it produces ATP. You can see on the right hand side upper portion there is a green arrow showing ATP, red ATP. Right. Now, this light also breaks water. Look below chlorophyll, it's water and water is broken down. Oxygen is released at the bottom and at the bottom right side you can see hydrogen. So hydrogen H plus, it is also formed. This proton means H plus and electrons of the chlorophyll, they reduce NADP into NADPH. Look at the bottom of the stairs. NADP is converted into NADPH. So this is the summary of the light reactions. Let's move on to the dark reactions. The dark reactions, they are called the Calvin cycle, as they were discovered by Melvin Calvin. The dark reactions occur in stroma of the chloroplasts. Stroma are called the kitchen of the cells. So in these kitchen means stroma of chloroplast, the dark reactions takes place. The dark reactions are called dark reactions because they do not need light. They can take place in absence of light as well in presence of light also. In these dark reactions, carbon dioxide is reduced to form glucose. The steps involved are: number 1, carbon dioxide molecules combine with a 5 carbon compound. So, carbon dioxide itself is one carbon compound, CO2, C is 1. So, carbon dioxide is one carbon compound. It joins with 5 carbon compounds, 5 plus 1, it will form 6 carbon compound. This 6 carbon compound splits into 2 compounds which are having 3 carbon compounds, 3 carbon atoms. So, 3 carbon compounds are formed. This 3 carbon compound reduce to form 3 carbon carbohydrates. This 3 carbon carbohydrates forms glucose, as well as it's very important 3 carbon carbohydrate because it not only forms glucose but it also regenerates the 5 carbon compound. So these are the steps of dark reactions. In this dark reaction, ATP is used. That ATP which was formed in the light reactions, it is used in the dark reactions. This is the summary of the dark reactions. Look at the top. Carbon dioxide molecule, it joins with a 5 carbon compound. You can see it's written Rubisco. Rubisco is a 5 carbon compound which joins with carbon dioxide. And it forms, of course, 5 plus 1, 6. So it forms 6 carbon compound. You can see the 6 orange balls in a line. Now, it splits into 2 compounds which are having 3 carbons. You can see the 3 orange carbon atoms. There are 2 compounds because 6 carbon compounds split into 3 carbon compounds which are 2 in number. Now, these 3 carbon compounds are reduced, and here in this step ATP is also used and NADPH is also used, which were formed in the light reaction, so they are used over here. This 3 carbon compound forms the 3 carbon carbohydrates. This 3 carbon carbohydrate, you can see at the bottom these orange balls, 3 orange atoms, right? This 3 carbon carbohydrates forms the glucose, and it is also regenerating the 5 carbon compound. Now look at the above left side, there are orange atoms which are 5 in number. So this 3 carbon carbohydrates has regenerated the 5 carbon compound. That's why it's very important because the reaction can be continued further. And what we get, what the plants get glucose, which is the main thing. Here is an overview of photosynthesis. The light reactions convert solar energy to chemical energy. And what are those chemicals? That is, they produce ATP and NADPH. And these both are the energy compounds, high energy molecules. The Calvin cycle, which is the dark reaction, it makes sugar from carbon dioxide. As we have seen that glucose is formed at the end. ATP generated by the light reactions provides the energy for sugar synthesis. The NADPH produced by the light reactions provides the electrons for the reduction of carbon dioxide to glucose. So it's an overview of the both light and dark reactions of photosynthesis. Here are the differences between the light and dark reactions. Light reactions occurs in the grana on the thylakoid membrane, and the dark reactions occur in stroma of the chloroplast. Light reactions are of course light dependent and dark reactions are light independent. In light stage or light reactions, ATP is produced and NADPH is also produced, whereas in dark reactions, ATP and NADPH both are used up, consumed, right? And oxygen is produced in the light reactions because water was broken, and here carbon dioxide is used as it joins with the 5 carbon compound. Chlorophyll molecule is involved in the light reactions and not in the dark reactions. Let's wrap up about the mechanism of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the most important biochemical pathway and nearly all life depends on it because other animals which are heterotrophs they get energy by eating the autotrophs, the plants. Light reactions occurs on the thylakoid membrane. They produce ATP and NADPH. The dark reactions utilize ATP and produce glucose. They take place in stroma of the chloroplast. Now your homework is that you have to learn the light and dark reactions of photosynthesis and you have to differentiate between the light and dark reactions. This is all about today's class. Thank you.